Hi, I'm Robert from Lwflowers. Most people call me the flower guy. Today we're going to do another bridal bouquet. I'm using some of the a little bit more traditional colors that were used this last summer in greens. So we're going to be using some of these green roses. Again, when you get these roses, these are a super green. They're actually a garden rose. When you get them, it should be 25 stems to the bunch. You want to open them up. They're going to have two layers, a top layer and a bottom layer, where you've got all 25 roses. We'll strip them a little bit. We use some green buttons. We use a little bit of, this is actually yellow solidago, but while it's very tight like this, it shows kind of a green color, but everything's got a little bit of a yellow base, so it'll go. This is green ball dianthus, and then some gray dusty miller. Now this is some 60 centimeter dusty miller that we picked up from Ecuador, so we're going to kind of use it to see how it works. We're just going to use it for texture. So we're going to get these things cleaned up, get together pretty much just a nice traditional bridal bouquet. These green buttons I tend to like because they've got a ton of long runners on them that you can use. So break those apart at this point so you don't have to do it while you've got a bouquet in your hand. Don't know how many we'll use, but even some of the ones that just got some little ends on them always be nice. Oh, there's your boutonniere. Now see, that one's pretty clumpy, so I'm not going to do too much of that. I want the smaller stems so we can place them where we need. And because your bouquet only needs to be 15 inches long, you don't need a lot of stem length on these. So again, we're just going to kind of clean up these roses. I use the strippers. They've worked fine for me for years. So I don't worry too much about not making a mess because a broom will take care of that problem. Usually in a bridal bouquet, you got to buy these roses, 25 stems to a bunch, so plan on using 25 stems. If you're buying them online or you're buying them wholesale, you're buying them from Costco, wherever you're going to buy them from, they're inexpensive enough that put as many in your bouquets that you want. These broken ones like this, just set aside for your boutonnieres and corsages. I always leave a little bit of the greens on because I like greens. Some shops will take them all off if they're in the way, but a few greens on there I think helps to add some texture. So again, we'll just kind of start it and grab a couple of the roses that we like, that we want to use. I tend to look for some that are opening, a little larger headed for the top three. Kind of build from there. Some of these will have the guard petals on. If the guard petals need to come off, you can peel them off while you go, or you can keep them on. They got a little bit more green color to them. So this one we'll do a little different. We're going to have a lot more color and a lot more texture in this bouquet. Again, crossing your stems, keeping the flowers inside so you can see kind of what's going on with them. You just want to basically start placing your flowers. Going to build from the center and work your way out. Make sure you cross your stems always so the bouquet stays together. And we're just going to kind of do a tight bouquet with our flowers. Just keep placing them around, looking at it, making sure that it stays round, gives you the color that you want. In that green ball dianthus, we're using it just for some space, for some color, for some texture. We're using the Dusty Miller same way, just looking at texture, space, instead of hydrangeas. So something a little bit different to use. The green ball dianthus is kind of like the hydrangea, so you can kind of push the flowers up in there. Add a little bit more of this. See a hole. Kind of keep working your way around in there. Get it to where you like it. Looks the way you want it to look. And pretty much these flowers are, the green button poms, pretty inexpensive product. So they're usually 5 to 7 stem bunches. This one here happens to have 10 stems in it. Just keep wrapping your flowers around. Basically, the gray around the outside edge kind of helps you to break up the bouquet, give it a little bit of a different look, a little different color. Kind of helps the rest of the flowers stand out. And there's a couple more roses in there. Just a little bit more around. Okay, then I'll add a few more buttons around the outside just to kind of pull it together. Again, you kind of want to keep an eye on. You can look at it from the top down to see that you've got them all in there and they're spaced out nice. And you see a hole, just add a flower. Add a couple more pieces of this this is yellow solidago. Again, just for some texture. Kind of helps to finish off the outside a little bit without taking too much away from the roses. And throw a couple more of these in. I don't like that. I'll throw a couple extra stems of Dusty Miller in there, just a base around it. It's getting kind of big, so you could peel some more of the foliage off around there so it doesn't get too big, but I got big hands right now. It's almost too large. Who knew? There's your bouquet. Again, I always tie it up with a rubber band, so cut some of these stems off. This is a pretty good sized bouquet, so you might not want to use that many roses. But for the sake, choose a nice strong stem, put your rubber band up the stem, give it a good twist. I'm going to go back down and find another stem that you can attach it to. Yeah. There's your bouquet. So you can do these up 2 or 3 days in advance. You can just kind of keep them right in a vase of water. Keep them fresh before the wedding. And that's basically what you'll have right there. So on your wedding day, take them out of the water, you put a ribbon around, you can put a bow around, you can put sleeves around it. There's a lot of things that you can do, you know, with the base. But basically we use green ball dianthus, about a half a bunch. We used almost a bunch of solidago, almost a bunch of button poms, and almost a bunch of roses in just this one bouquet. It's a pretty good sized bouquet, but if you're doing your own wedding, gives you the texture, gives you the flowers, gives you the color that you need, and still the product's very fresh. You can do it 2 or 3 days in advance. Thank you. I'm Robert with Lwflowers.